हाँ प्लीज
तो इसी के लिए जाना है।
हाँ प्लीज बट
Thank you so much, sir.
All right. You spent long years in your home state, Uttarakhand, right?
Yes, sir.
IT Roorkee is also there.
Yes, sir.
Just starting with the Silkyara debacle in tunnel.
Yes, sir.
As an engineer, how do you see the failure there, and what causes were attributed to it by a government report that has come out after that?
So there's only a preliminary report as of now, and full detail is still in survey. So in that report, sir, the major reasons were there were certain cracks that were developed on the upper layer of the tunnel, 200 meters from the Silkyara end. It can also be said the I'm sorry, sir. Then the water was creeping inside the fracture that was being done, and due to that reason, sir, the Silkyara tunnel fell down. Another reason, sir, that was highlighted, there might have been a landslide which might have caused this mishap. But sir, the biggest reason were the anthropogenic one, because there was no escape tunnel that is in the guidelines while the tunnel is being constructed. Secondly, sir, there was no regular surveys of the tunnel which have to be done as per the guidelines. So these were all the reasons of why it fell down, sir.
So this tunnel is part of which project?
Sir, Chardham Mahamarg Yojana.
So
Yes.
considering this debacle and the accident, you think that we should have gone for Chardham Yojana, the widening of road and all, or we should stop?
So we have to that. There are two primary reasons, sir. First is tourism. It will promote tourism, which will provide economic opportunities to the people living in hilly areas. And secondly, sir, as Honorable Supreme Court has pointed, Chardham is very important for our national security, so that artillery can be moved immediately to the border areas, bordering with China, sir. So these are two reasons why it is very important.
The two regions are okay, but the third region that you are just playing havoc with the hills and its ecology.
Yes, sir, that is a very major concern that we have. So for that, sir, there should be few steps that must be taken. A proper environment impact assessment must be done before the projects are being constructed. Secondly, sir, there must be regular surveys. For instance, landslide zonation mapping, flood prone zonation mapping must be done before any project is taken. And thirdly, sir, there would be regular surveys which will include geologists from geological institutes that we have in Uttarakhand. And sir, if the reports are out that it is safe to construct, then only we should proceed, otherwise we should not, sir.
You've done metallurgy. What has been India's specialization in ancient times on metallurgy? What kind of metallurgical knowledge we had?
So going back to the Chalcolithic period, in Indus Valley, so we find copper as well as bronze, which were being prominent metal during that time, so 2,000 years back. Secondly, sir, in South India, we find mention of wood steel, which was a martensite steel and which was a very strong steel as per 2,000 years back, sir, in South India. So that was second. So these were the two ancient times we remember. But sir, today we are doing good in the steel sector as of now. And we are
how developed was the metallurgy as a science in those times? What kind of alloys and what kind of mixing they used to do? I'm more interested in that.
So bronze was one of the prominent alloy which was present at that time. So that was.
There is a method called lost wax method to make,
Yes, sir.
What is that? Can you explain that?
Sir, it was a method of building sculptures. So in that method, sir, clay figure is being constructed, and then the clay figure is being filled with wax. And when the wax is dried out, that wax is taken out of the mold, and then the metal is poured in so that it can get a exact image.
Fine, I'm getting you. And what was your optional paper?
Sir, anthropology.
You've taken anthropology?
Yes, sir.
All right. What new thing has happened on the PVTG front in India recently?
Yes, sir. So in the recent budget in 2022,
I'm not talking about budget. I'm talking about just 10 days back.
Sir, I'm not able to recall right now, sir.
Who are PVTGs?
So PVTGs are the particularly vulnerable tribal groups, the even more marginalized groups among the tribals. They live in the interiors of the hilly and forested areas, and they lack human development indicators that currently we are trying to provide. They are the most marginalized sections, sir, in India, I believe, sir. So these are the PVTGs.
Do you have any PVTGs in Uttarakhand?
Yes, sir. So one PVTG group is a Rajji tribal group, which live in Pithoragarh district, sir.
Pithoragarh district.
Yes, sir.
Achha, you talked about steel for the metallurgical sector.
Yes, sir.
So what is so special about steel? Why were so many steel plants constructed at one point of time? What are their economic benefits?
So few of the benefits are, so firstly, steel is a very important material in building infrastructures, for instance, bridges and buildings, etc. First is that, sir. Secondly, it is very also important in building automobiles and other sectors utilized in that. Thirdly, sir, steel sector provides a lot of employment to the people. And fourthly, sir, our steel industries are mainly situated in the backward areas of India, which have helped to uplift the marginalized section of Indian societies. And so fifthly, exports have increased, which has increased our forex. That is all.
So are you aware of any coefficients in terms of the income and employment multiplier effects of the steel sector? Any idea about them?
I'm really sorry, sir. I do not.
Okay, fine. Okay, now if you come from Uttarakhand, the state was created in 2000.
Yes, sir.
So how do you view the emergence of this state? Because many a time it is compared with Himachal Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
So how do you view this comparison?
So may I take you
Yeah,
seconds?
sure.
So there are a few things we still lack when compared to Himachal Pradesh. First is the tourism sector. So Himachal Pradesh has capitalized on it by building good roads and as well as infrastructure. But so Uttarakhand is not lagging behind. We are now there. We are building roads and we are investing heavily in homestays and.
Fine. And are you aware of the status of decentralization in Uttar Pradesh with respect to the provisions in the constitution, especially the 11th schedule, 12th schedule? What type of functions have been transferred to the panchayats and the urban local bodies? Do you have any idea that?
Sir, I'm sorry, sir. I'll have to check, sir.
Okay. And generally speaking, which are the districts which you feel are prospering, and which are the laggard districts in Uttarakhand?
So the district in plainer areas have prospered, but the district which lies in the hilly areas, they have lagged behind, sir. For instance, Pithoragarh, Champawat, and these districts have lagged behind, but districts such as Nainital, Udham Singh Nagar, Dehradun, they have prospered, sir.
Now this, you refer to the Char Dham Yatra, its tourism potential.
Yes.
And recently, at the Investor Summit, the Prime Minister also made a appeal to wed in India, and especially choose Uttarakhand
Yes,
for that event. So do you feel that such sort of one-off events, can they really drive the economy forward? Like Himachal, it doesn't have only the tourism sector. So
Yes.
is this sort of a strategy advisable for the entire state to progress?
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. For instance, sir, the pharma sector in Himachal Pradesh is really doing well. That could be, sir, brought to Uttarakhand because we have a lot of ample of pure water resources which is required. Firstly, is that, sir. Secondly, sir, when investment comes, we can invest in heavy industries in Uttarakhand also. Currently, we have.
But why is it not happening?
So there can be multiple reasons for that. So first is lack of raw materials. We do not have raw materials that are required. Secondly, sir, the connectivity infrastructure in Uttarakhand is not up to the mark as of now. And being hilly states, sir, railways is difficult to reach over there. Thirdly, sir, the funding has not been up to the mark. And fourthly, sir, skill development has also been lagging behind. So we'll have to work upon skill development aspect as well. So these were the reasons why still we are lagging behind in industrial development, sir.
And are you aware of the financial position of the government of Uttarakhand?
Sir, I will have to check, sir. I'm not aware about it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Achha, I find you are interested in marathon.
Yes, sir.
So tell us, how did you become a marathon runner?
So it was during my 2 years of stay in Bangalore. So I joined the gym, and sir, Wipro Limited, the company I worked in, sir, it organized an annual event of marathon, and it was for a cause. For instance, in that year, it was cause for LGBTQ rights. So I was really interested to complete that event, and sir, for that I practiced daily. Almost 1 hour I ran for a month on a treadmill, and on the final day, sir, I completed 21 kilometers half marathon, sir, and it was one of the best day of my life.
What is the Olympic record for marathon, full marathon?
Sir, I'm not aware. I have to check, sir. I'll have
Okay.
to check, sir.
And do you think full marathon is good for health?
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. It's very good for health. Not only for physical health, but also for mental health, sir. Our organs remain fit and healthy, internal organs, as well as, sir, our mind remains stable, peace and calm. So these are the reasons.
Marathon is a test for stamina or speed?
Sir, endure, stamina, sir.
Stamina.
Stamina, yes.
And in India, can you name some major marathon event?
So they are mostly organized by independent companies, as well as few of the cities such as Bombay, BMC organizes marathon. Only 2 or 3 I'm aware about, sir, right now.
That's it. Then I read that you have interest in motorcycle,
Yes, sir.
traveling on motorcycle.
Yes.
So what are the excitement, or why do you prefer to travel on motorcycle?
So first is the experience that I get when I ride a motorcycle. The wind that blows in my face when I ride it, and the scenic beauty that comes while we are in a bike rather than a car. That is the first. Second, the thump.
In Thar Desert, where do you ride? Which area you describe?
So mostly in mountains, hilly areas, sir.
Acha. In your own Uttarakhand.
Uttarakhand, sir, Himachal Pradesh, as well as I have traveled extensively in Western Ghats also.
Which
sir.
bike you use?
Sir, Royal Enfield Classic 350, sir, 2018 model, sir.
Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
So secondly is the thump that the bike gives. It really gives an adrenaline rush when you are on the curves. So that is second. Sir, and since I have a cruiser bike, so there's a high level of comfort while I travel. So
Most of the accident on Indian roads that involve motorcyclists.
yes, sir.
So why it is so, and why it is so that the motorcyclists are so prone to accident?
So there are a few of the reasons for that. So firstly, they do not use adequate safety gears. So that is very important. Whenever you use a bike, that is very important. Secondly, sir, recently we have seen a culture of high speed enthusiasts, which is very wrong. We must always follow the speed limit that is given to us. Secondly is that. So these are the primary two reasons that I can think of now.
Okay. Now, in India, which is the best bike as per your experience or your knowledge?
So there are multiple bikes that I like, but the most beautiful bike that I want to own is Harley Davidson Iron 883, sir, which is the 883 cc bike.
Okay.
So that is what I think is the most beautiful bike according to me, sir.
There was a dispute between India and USA involving bike.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell why?
Sir, as far as I can recall, it was due to the environmental concerns. India wanted American bikes such as Harley Davidson to produce BS6 model, which has catalytic converters. But the V-twin engine of Harley Davidson, they denied to produce bikes which have those catalytic converters as well as BS6. So that was the major bone of contention, sir.
No, there are other reasons, economic reasons also. Can you think of that?
Currently not aware, sir. I'm really sorry, sir.
Okay, right.
Wonderful. Someone from Uttarakhand who would tell me something about Kumaoni songs.
Yes, sir.
I'm just picking up one line. Tell me about the song and the name, the composer. Kadam Kadam Badhaye Ja. Who is the composer of this beat?
Sir, I'm not aware about this song, sir.
Captain Ramsey, you haven't heard?
No,
With the
sir.
INA, then with the. Okay.
I'm not aware, sir.
Now, next one is Beru Pako Baramaso. Tell me something about this song.
So this is a very beautiful folk song of Uttarakhand,
Yes.
which describes the natural beauty that Uttarakhand possesses.
Yes.
So Bedu is a type of fruit that grows Baramasa, and Kafal Pako Cheta. Kafal fruit is ripening in the Cheta month. So that is what it describes.
Who has written this song?
I'm not aware about the.
Okay. And last question. Something about Gorapan Shivan.
So I have to check on. I'm really sorry, sir.
Thank you, Doctor.
You take interest in current affairs also? You read newspapers regularly?
Yes, sir.
You have, you must have read about the changes in the criminal laws, 3 penal codes.
Yes, sir.
You think that that is sufficient to bring a revolutionary change in the Indian criminal justice system? Making some cosmetic changes in the 3 colonial laws? Or we need more well-rounded reforms?
So this is the first step, I think, and much more reforms are required for improving the criminal justice system in India, sir.
Like?
So firstly, sir, we'll have to reduce the judicial pendency that we currently have. So using technology is one of the solution for that. Secondly, sir, the investigation that currently police has, this has also to improve. Using data is a very required thing.
You remember what changes have been brought about in Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita relating to the police custody? What was the IPC provision and what is the new provision now? How long police can keep somebody in custody for investigation?
Sir, I'm unable to recall that now.
You are unable to recall that?
Yes.
What is the reform in terms of sedition? Sedition?
So the IPC 124 section A, which was sedition, is now removed. And earlier it was Rajdroh. Earlier it was Rajdroh, which was against the British Raj if someone is doing. But now it is if someone is violating the integrity of India, so that will be punishable offense, not against the government but against the integrity of India, sir. That is the changes being made, sir.
All right. What is the status of Indian prisons today? Are they satisfactory or there are too many complaints about the prison system?
So there are complaints. For instance, sir, currently 75% of the people that we have are under trials. So that is one major problem. Secondly, sir, there are also instances of custodial torture that we hear in news. That is another problem, sir. Thirdly, the issue is of hygiene and sanitation in Indian prisons. So that is one else. So these are 3 I can remember, sir. Right now, these need certain reforms, sir.
A new thing has been introduced in the penal system. Instead of serving in jail, you can do community service. Are you aware of this community service?
Sir, I'm not aware, but I know, sir, in Hyderabad, there is certain model for this.
Community service.
Yes, sir.
No, it's part of the legal system. But if you do not know, then I will not ask you.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not currently aware, sir.
Okay. Civil services which exist in India today, are they still in the colonial shape or they have become very democratic and committed to the constitutional values of India? Where do they stand?
Sir, I think they stand in the middle because we have moved away from the culture that British civil services has, and we are now moving towards more democratic structures. But sir, still there has been certain problems. Today also, sir, people find difficult to reach out to the bureaucrats directly, and that is one of the major issues that we face. And there have been certain, sir, videos, etc., about civil servants behaving rudely with the people of India. So that still is a major problem. But
Okay.
yes, sir.
economy is getting specialized and the functioning of the state is also becoming more technocratic now.
Yes, sir.
Then why you have such a generalist civil service? How can they cope up with the domains of a specialization? An IAS can be a BA graduate in Sanskrit and he has to lord over large technological empire in India. Don't you think there is a need for a specialist rather than anybody getting into the IAS?
So generalist is someone more required, suited for civil services and administrator as an administrative job, sir. Because civil servant has to work on the diverse subjects and in diverse domains, he has to work upon that. But sir, I also feel that while preparing for civil services, one acquires the skills for learning things very fastly, and he or she develops critical and analytical skills very fast. So if someone wants to learn technologies, they will adapt very promptly, sir, if they want to do that. But a generalist will be preferred in civil services, sir.
Okay. Thank you. You can go now.
Thank you so
I'll
much,
call
sir.
you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
नहीं है ना? हाँ
कम तनुज, आपने 2 बार इंटरव्यू दिया था, पढ़िए।
हाँ सर।
कौन कौन से बोर्ड थे आपके?
सर दोनों बार श्री AIR-72 सर का बोर्ड था सर।
हाँ, कैसा रहा?
सर एवरेज नंबर ही दिए मुझे, एक बार 166 थे और एक बार 173 थे सर।
चौबे का बोर्ड था?
हाँ सर।
और रिटर्न में क्या था?
सर रिटर्न में मेरे पास दोनों बार स्कोर 770 के आसपास रहा है सर।
यही सब्जेक्ट था?
हाँ सर।
ओके। ये तुम्हारा कौन सा अटेम्प्ट है?
तीसरा ही अटेम्प्ट है सर।
तीनों बार निकाले हो
हाँ,
इंटरव्यू
हाँ,
में, लेकिन फाइनल सिलेक्शन नहीं हुआ।
नहीं हुआ
160 के राउंड आ रहा है इंटरव्यू में।
160 170 हाँ सर।
आपका जो आउटलुक है ना बड़ा लिमिटेड आज मुझे आया कि आप बस काम की चीज़ें जानते हो जो आपसे रिलेटेड है। आई मीन यू डोंट कम आउट एज ए वेरी वेल राउंडेड पर्सनालिटी। आपकी पर्सनालिटी फिजिकल पर्सनालिटी आपकी ठीक है, बट मेंटली आई फाइंड दैट यू हैव limited your vision to certain things. If you can broaden, like not knowing Siwani coming from Uttarakhand, and that too from Kathgoda, I mean that is a crime, I would say. If I am in the board, I will take it a very deep view of that. So at least you should be well versed with where you come from. That is especially Uttarakhand. Siwani, anybody knows about Siwani's background और ऐसे भी मिल जाता है।
शिवानी नाम भी नहीं जानते थे? कोई बात नहीं, चलो
Tanuj, no, I will, because sir has said, if you ask me, everybody would agree, one will not judge, any member will not judge you what you don't know.
Yes sir.
Many people we don't know, but what you have written Uttarakhandi songs.
Yes sir.
Like someone may say, कैप्टन राम सिंह कहाँ मिलता है, बट कदम कदम बढ़ाए जा, अभी भी देखिएगा 29 जनवरी को शुरुआत होगी, ये बीटिंग द ग्रिटी उसी गाने से होगी। ही हैज बीन इन INA। अब आपने लिखा है उत्तराखंडी सॉन्ग का, आपने बिल्कुल बात को बता दी, बट कौन कंपोजर रहा है? 1950 में प्रीति ने लिखा था, शायद थोड़ा कुछ जानने में हर्ज नहीं है, तो थोड़ा कोशिश करें। अदरवाइज यू टैकल योर क्वेश्चन वेल। आप 2 बार इंटरव्यू दे चुके हैं, यू वुड नो, यू हैव एवरेज अराउंड द सेम टाइम, तो इस बार आप
उसमें कैसे क्वेश्चन थे? पिछले उसमें किस तरह के क्वेश्चन थे?
सर मोस्टली करंट अफेयर्स पे ही था पूरा इंटरव्यू मेरा।
ओके।
अरुण चौबे सर ने किस पे पूछा था?
सर इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड पे बात हुई थी और फ्रीबीज के ऊपर बात हुई है।
वो तो जनरली बात कर।
हाँ सर, उस पे ही बात करी है सर।
ठीक है तो
आप जाएं।
ठीक है।
कब है डेट, कब है?
सर अभी आए नहीं है
अभी आई नहीं।
सर, मुझे लगता है रिवीजन की बहुत कमी है अभी। मैं रिवीजन
टाइम है तुम्हारे पास?
टाइम है। देखिए अगेन आई एम सेइंग दैट क्वेश्चन विल नॉट बी जज्ड, बट सिंस यू हैव रिटन अबाउट
भाई क्वेश्चंस तो एंडलेस है ना, नो वन कैन से क्या आएगा,
पूछा ही नहीं जाए, ये
ना
भी हो
पूछा
सकता है।
जाएगा,
हाँ, लेकिन
वो नहीं
पूछा
है।
जाए।
आपने
साहब आपको मौका मिलता है फैलने का, है ना, एक्सपेंसिव मैराथन के बारे में एवरीथिंग, व्हाट इज द हार्म व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग हियर अबाउट मैराथन? व्हाई डोंट यू गेन सम एक्स्ट्रा नॉलेज, बिकॉज़ यू आर गिविंग some kind of clue कि भाई मैं मैराथन के बारे में, मोटरसाइकिल।
जैसे हमने भाई तो पूछ दिया उत्तराखंडी सॉन्ग, आपने लास्ट टाइम भी हॉबी लिखी होगी।
हाँ सर।
शायद दोनों बार ही क्वेश्चन ना पूछा गया हो।
हाँ सर, नहीं पूछा।
एग्जैक्टली, तो वो जो मेंबर कोई होता है तो वो पूछ लेता है।
हाँ सर।
नहीं भी पूछ सकते हैं।
हाँ, उसका नाम भी पूछा जाए तो दैट विल नॉट बी इशू, आप जवाब नहीं दे पाए, बट नोइंग इज otherwise you did well.
Your personality is good, you have a good delivery, you have a good presence, you have a positive of presence, and you speak also what you know you can
तो जो था सारे you could respond to each and every question, वो इशू नहीं है कि
वो नहीं है।
not knowing, बट जहाँ नहीं है वो तो ठीक है, नहीं आता है तो वो
नहीं
भी you are
आता।
frank enough to say नहीं सुना है तो ठीक है, है ना, ठीक है वो।
सर तो ऐसा मुझे जो लग रहा है थोड़ा एक अवेयरनेस का थोड़ा सा मेरे को कहीं ना
हाँ,
कहीं
तो वो-
गैप दिख रहा है, तो मैं उस पर बहुत काम करूंगा।
हाँ, थोड़ा देख
पढ़ने
लेंगे।
लगोगे।
हाँ, और सर रिवीजन मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सटेंसिव, मैं अभी क्योंकि पहला ही मौका था तो मैंने बहुत अभी रिवाइज भी नहीं किया बहुत फ्रेंडली स्टार्ट करूंगा वो।
जैसे जो चीज भी उसमें लिखा हुआ है ना, जैसे मोटरसाइकिल,
हाँ, जो
मोटरसाइकिल
आपने
से
लिखा है,
क्या-क्या चीजें आ सकती हैं?
because you are giving a chance people to ask.
हाँ सर,
मोटरसाइकिल में ड्यूटी ट्रम्प ने कहा था, कोई भी मतलब कि बहुत ज़्यादा ड्यूटी इंडिया चार्जेस 50% ऑन डेबिट हो क्या है वो जो मोटरसाइकिल है, दैट वाज वन ऑफ
Harley Davidson.
हार्ले डेविडसन पर तो खैर एनीवे दैट इज टू प्रोटेक्ट इंडियन इंडस्ट्री, आई मीन इंडियन मोटरसाइकिल, खैर लेकिन मतलब हम कह रहे हैं जो चीज़ भी लिख
तनुज आप
उसके डिफरेंट डायमेंशंस को देख लो कि उसमें क्या क्या हो सकता
आप अभी यहीं पर हैं दिल्ली में?
हाँ सर यही
ठीक है।
हाँ सर।
Well,
तभी विप्रो में हो छोड़ दिया है,
छोड़ दिया सर।
हाँ, छोड़ दिया।
छोड़ दिया,
हाँ सर,
चलो
मैं आपने
चलो।
2 बार दिया, दोनों बार आपका रिटर्न निकला, that is
इस बार शायद अच्छा कर जाओ।
हाँ सर। सर अगर ये रिवाइज कर लूँ और अवेयरनेस बढ़ा दूँ, बाकी सर वो
बाकी तो
हाँ।
मतलब इससे है कि थोड़ा और एक्स्ट्रा मार्क्स मिल जाएगा और कोई बात नहीं भी मिल सकता है, बट कई बोर्ड को लगता है कि ये शो करता है कि आपका काफी मतलब बड़ा कैनवास।
कितना गैप था, कितने से रुक गए थे?
सर पहली बार में सर 19 नंबर थे और दूसरी बार में 15 नंबर थे सर।
हाँ तो
160-70 तो तुमको किसी भी
Good day मिल जाएगा।
एनी गुड डे मिल जाएगा तुमको, उस तरह का तो तुम ऑलरेडी बना लिए हो। अब तुम्हें देखना 180 कैसे मिल जाए, 85 कैसे
भाई
मिल जाए।
20-25
तो उसके लिए जो सर लोगों ने कहा कैनवास को थोड़ा बड़ा करो नॉलेज का, तो वो अच्छा रहेगा। मेटलर्जी और मटेरियल्स साइंसेज का क्या भी प्रेजेंट स्टेटस उसको भी पढ़ लेना, यू नेवर नो दैट क्वेश्चन कैन आल्सो बी आस्क्ड।
हाँ सर।
करंट अफेयर तो इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड क्या होता है, फ्री बी क्या होता है, तो कोई रिक्शा पुलर भी पूछ सकता है, चौबे जी ने पूछते कौन सा बड़ा खड़ा कर दिया, ये तो नेचुरल चीज है, सबसे पूछना इजी टू आस्क।
हाँ सर।
तो उसमें हमें एडवाइस नहीं देनी है
हाँ
आपको।
सर।
एनीबॉडी कैन आस्क सच ऑर्डिनरी क्वेश्चंस। व्हाट वी कैन टेल यू कि व्हाट आर द एक्सपेक्टेड क्वेश्चंस दैट कैन बी आस्क्ड, दैट इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट।
हाँ सर।
तो वो कोई चैलेंजिंग नहीं कि उन्होंने क्या पूछ दिया नहीं।
और इस तरह का भी जैसे हमने पूछा आपको कंपेयरिंग बिटवीन हिमाचल और तो देयर कैन नॉट बी अ 1-to-1 कंपैरिजन। हिमाचल कब बन गया स्टेट, ये अभी बना है ना, सो इट हैज इट्स ओन एडवांटेजेस, बट यू कैन से वी कैन ऑलवेज borrow or draw upon those experiences. But 1-to-1 का कहीं भी कंपैरिजन की कहीं बात आती है ना, कोई आपसे भी कहता है मेरे से आप कंपेयर करो, you just say कि भाई I can speak about myself,
हाँ सर।
है ना, my positives, my this thing, I cannot know about what other person is doing. तो बाकी अच्छा वही सब ब्रश अप कर लो, यही चीजें।
हाँ सर, जो आप लोगों ने बोला है मैं उस पर काफी मेहनत
हाँ,
करूँगा।
काफी नहीं, हरामा कर दोगे।
हाँ
हाँ।
सर।
राइट बॉय।
तो ये सब लिमिटेड है, कोई वहाँ के बहुत ज्यादा ऑथर्स हुए नहीं, बहुत ये हुए नहीं है, तो जस्ट गूगल में लिस्ट डालोगे उत्तराखंड कुमाऊं से कौन
सब आ
है,
जाएगा, सारा किया जाएगा।
है ना, तो वो जस्ट मेक अ लिस्ट।
You have the foundation, मतलब ये तो केवल थोड़ा सा ऑर्नामेंटल बनाने के लिए, और यू कैन मेक इट मोर।
वो तो जितने दिन है उसमें एवरी डे इज अ बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक, रोज बिल्ड करते जाओ उसमें, आज ये कर लिया तो वो ठीक है।
चलो ठीक है, ऑल द बेस्ट।
थैंक यू सो मच सर।
ओके।